Order. I give the call to the honourable member for Blair.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Home Affairs. Can the minister update the House on the findings of the SIEV915 report and its implications?
I call the Minister for Home Affairs.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I want to thank the member for Blair for his question. All of us in this House would acknowledge that this is a person who comes to work every day and acts with the utmost of integrity, and so it's no surprise to get the question from him today. Speaker, last week the Australian government made a decision to release a report written by Secretary Mike Pizzullo into the disgraceful actions of the former government to release information about a boat arrival on election day on the 21st of May. This was the former government sabotaging protocols that protect Operation Sovereign Borders and protect the people in uniform who do dangerous and difficult work. One of the truly outrageous things about the Secretary's report is that it details the fact that the decision was made by the former Minister for Home Affairs to release this information while the operation was on foot. This is without precedent in the history of Operation Sovereign Borders. And what it meant was that an operation that was being undertaken by Border Force and Defence Force officials was undermined by the Shadow Minister who now sits opposite me. The report also details, Speaker, the fact that, despite the fact that the Prime Minister at the time asked the Minister for Home Affairs to release the statement herself, she chose not to do that. Instead, she put the acid on a Defence Force official who wears uniform for our country to make the statement for her. And that, Speaker, was an act of cowardice. If you are going to politicise this operation, you do it yourself and you put your name to the work that you do. Now, the Shadow Minister opposite had an opportunity—
Order. The Minister for Home Affairs will resume her seat. The member for Petrie on a point of order, and I would invite the member to state the point of order.
Reflecting on a member, Mr Speaker, congratulate you on your position, but the minister just reflected on this minister.
The member for Petrie will resume his seat. The member for Petrie will resume. The member will resume his seat. The member will resume his seat. I call the Leader of the House. On the point of order.
To the point of order, Mr Speaker, because the standing order on reflections on members is a very important one. It is very important. But it doesn't extend to explaining what a member in fact did. If the actions are taken to be, well, that's terrible that the person did that and a whole lot of conclusions are drawn, that's on the member. The standing order is not there to protect members from the accurate description of what they did.
Just on the point of order, before I rule, the manager of opposition business.
Mr Speaker, the relevant standing order says that all imputations of improper motives to a member and all personal reflections on other members shall be considered highly disorderly, and so it should be withdrawn. It was disorderly.
I thank the manager. The minister. Order. Minister for Climate Change. Listening to the minister carefully, she didn't reflect directly on the former minister. Standing Order 90 is important. She was referring to the situation. She did not refer directly to the minister, but if she did, I would enforce Standing Order 90. I want to make it clear. Order. The member for Petrie. Order. Order. It's close enough. Order. Order. I intend to enforce the standing orders, and particularly Standing Order 90. In this case, the minister did not reflect directly on the member. I will listen carefully to her and to all members to ensure that standing order is enforced. I call the minister. No. Order. There is no point of order. I call the minister. The minister can take her seat. I call the Leader of the Opposition.
Well, Mr Speaker, I just want to, with all due respect to you, just take you up on the point of your recollection of what was a very clear statement by the minister. Now, I hope that she's able to step up and clarify for you that it was, in fact, a direct reflection on the minister, on the shadow minister. The minister, in her statement, made a comment directly in relation to the shadow minister about actions that she took that resulted in a uniformed officer, etc. So that was a direct reflection on the shadow minister.
I thank the leader. Resume your seat. I'll ask the minister directly. Was she reflecting on the member?
I was reflecting on the conduct of the member, Speaker. Those are two different things.
Oh, order. Order. Manager opposition business. I thank the minister and I'll ask her to continue with her answer.
Thank you. And I'd really invite those opposite to consider this. If you don't want to be accused of acts of cowardice, if you don't want to be—
The minister may resume her seat. I call the Manager of Opposition Business.
Mr Speaker, we've just heard the minister say yes, effectively say yes in answer to
She didn't. Resume your seat. She didn't say that. Resume your seat. The minister, in continuation, to the question, directly to the question.
Yes, I'd like to say to those opposite, if you don't want to be accused of acts of cowardice and if you don't want to be accused of breaching your duty and the trust you owe to the Australian people, don't do it. Don't do what's in this report. I don't need to make it up. We've got a report here on the public record that outlines the disgraceful conduct of the former government. Now, the shadow minister opposite has had an opportunity to defend herself. Any of us accused of these things would come forward and apologise. But that's not what we heard. We heard a denial that the apolitical mandate of the public service was subverted. Wrong. It's in the report. A denial that she put pressure on the public service. It's in the report. Now, I just want to close by saying this. We should not become inured to these things in our democracy. This was a disgraceful, unprecedented act that should never have happened, and those opposite stand condemned for doing it.